Hey, welcome back to the Schmozone podcast, episode 18. This is the Schmo. We have Helen Yee Sports, also a Schmo. We got the electrifying Suga, Sean O'Malley. We have head coach Tim Welch, all Schmos today, a loaded podcast, getting ready for UFC 250. Let's go, everybody.
Fuck yeah, happy to be here.
Hell yeah.
No accents? You're wearing the Schmo glasses.
Not enough calories for me today.
Not enough calories for him, not enough caffeine for me.
Hey, first off, Suga Sean O'Malley, amazing haircut. Making Dennis Rodman look like a schoolboy with that, man.
Yeah.
How'd you get that done?
Danny did it. Took probably, over 10 and a half hours to get it done. But yeah, we went in and got it done.
And here we are.
Yeah.
You guys just drove in from Phoenix. How long did it take you to make the drive here to Vegas?
I think it took me about 3.5, 4 hours. I was cruising. I was going. There's someone ahead of me that was going about 100, so I was following behind, and it was nice. Get here fast.
A little bit different for fight week, too, man. Very different.
Yeah, definitely feels different.
Last time we did this, you guys had a full fight week, and now the world is kind of turned upside down here.
Yeah, I guess nothing really has been too different because we just got in, but we'll see how it plays out. But we don't usually do too much. I know the media, I always look forward to that. I know that'll be a little bit different, but as far as what we do, we usually just chill out anyway.
Yeah, with the quietness, it's going to be weird, but it's just pretty much like we're getting ready for a sparring session with one guy this Saturday. In the quiet, it's usually kind of quiet in the gym, not a lot of people. So, yeah, it'll be a little bit different, but it'll just be like something we do every Saturday.
But how was this training camp?
It was pretty much a full 6 weeks. Like by the time fight night comes, it'll be a full camp. I told the UFC I wanted to fight early June. 3 weeks out, that they texted me and said, "All right, June 6th looks good with Eddie." So, like I said, I was basically in camp the 3 weeks before we found out. My weight was a little bit higher, like a couple pounds higher. That's literally it. Other than that, it was pretty much full fight camp.
The Schmo's going to stay in character for a couple more questions over here.
Okay.
You were starting out the quarantine with some excellent Instagram videos, some unique training, man.
Yeah,
Where'd you get the influence?
They just happened. People kept asking me to come out with more. I'm like, I don't have any more. They just happened, and I don't want to be one of those guys that trying to put it out, but it just didn't work. Some if they're on top, they'll come out funny. But yeah, those worked out good.
Yeah, just sitting around fucking bored, so take a couple rips and just think of some goofy ideas and go do them.
That's the best stuff in life, you know?
It is.
Put 300 milligrams of caffeine in this kid, and he'll go fucking crazy.
Yeah. Literally about it.
Definitely understand that. You know, I'm going to take the Schmo glasses off. Let's have a good subdued conversation on my end right here.
I like my Schmo glasses.
Me too.
No,
I feel
you
like
guys
I'm
keep
good.
it on. You guys keep it on. I'm going out of character. Let's just have some fun. It's kind of funny looking at other people wearing the yellow glasses and I'm not.
Tim's 6 eyes.
Makes me feel good. So you're fighting, man. You're fighting Eddie Wineland.
Yep.
Former WEC Bantamweight champion. It's been almost a year, I think, since he last fought. He's came off that KO victory in the early prelims, UFC 238 in Chicago. What are your expectations for this guy?
Yeah, I've heard his name, coming up, but I never really watched him fight. I didn't really know what kind of. I never really watched. The only thing I really watched was him get kicked by Hennenbrau, and then that was pretty much it. And then I watched a little bit of his Frankie Saenz fight, like a couple minutes of it, and I'm like, I'm gonna smoke this dude. His skill level is not as high as mine, and I hear people already saying he's 35, but even in his prime, like just the skill level I have right now will beat him anytime.
Yeah, but regardless, he's still a tough veteran. He's been in there a long time. He's got a lot of professional fights.
2003, I think he's been in the game professionally.
Yeah, fighting the toughest guys at the time. So he's for sure going to be tough, and he's not going to just lay down easy. But technique-wise, the way he fights with his hands down, he just doesn't have good enough defense to be able to react what Sugar's throwing at him and be able to see it and cover up in time. So, like I said, it's still a fist fight, but if everything goes as planned, it should be a pretty bad KO in the first round.
I think the last kid I fought, El Teco, had better skills in the striking department. Hands up, bouncing around, switches stances pretty good, throws some good stuff. I thought his technique was better than Eddie's, but with those little gloves, anything could happen. It's a smaller cage. We spar in I think around that size cage.
25 feet.
So
I was going to ask
yeah,
you about
25
that.
feet.
Yeah, I don't know what the size is, but I'm just gonna have to move my feet more than I would in a bigger cage. But
That's the nice thing too, is for this fight camp, pretty much we're basically doing a lot of grappling, a lot of wrestling, a lot of jiu-jitsu, couple times, 3 times a week. And anyone who knows fighting or have been around it, it takes the longest to develop your grappling and your wrestling cardio, and he's got that. So we had to just dial in the striking a little bit, and he's ready to go in all places.
With the lockdown situation and the rules and regulations in place, how did this training camp in terms of getting people in, getting people out vary from others? Was it better? Was it worse? You think you got the same amount of workload in? What's your takeaway?
This camp was just as good as the camp before. When Tim has his own gym, so we were having high level people ask if they come train with us. We weren't having to really, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, please, hey, we come train. It was like, hey, can we come train?
Who came in and trained?
Kyler Phillips, Tanquino was always there, John Moraga, a couple other black belts. Just we weren't short on partners. And then the lab was having some random classes every once in a while. So the guys over there, Mario Batista, the training partners was no issue.
It was nice. It was the first time, because this lockdown and all the lab practices were shut down, it was the first time that we could have a practice each day, and it kind of be focused around Sugar. Because in our little group that we have, we knew he's gonna be the one with the next competition. So everything was focused around him and what he wanted to work on and what we felt he needed to work on, putting himself in those scenarios and getting a lot of reps in those scenarios. So I think even this past 2 months, he's took a big jump. Athletically and technique-wise.
Yeah, and speaking of, just so much going on, obviously right now in the Bantamweight division with Henry Cejudo retiring, kind of wanted to get your thoughts on just everything going on in the Bantamweight division.
Yeah, I think it's wide open for, someone to become that guy that people want to see become champ. There's the whole top 10's, skill level is extremely high, but no one really stands out. I think I can be that guy. Getting a win over Eddie, it just bumps me up a little bit. Not a ton. It's not like, okay, let's see you against the next top 3 guy or whatever. So getting a nice knockout over him, and then we've talked a little bit about who we want to fight next, but we're just gonna kind of let it play out and we'll see. But I think, if everything goes planned, I'm gonna get out of this fight just like that last fight. No injuries, first round knockout, and fighting in a couple months. That'd be ideal. Who knows? I knock out the next guy, and I'm gonna be that star. I'm gonna be that people want to see me be champ, and that has a lot of leverage with the UFC when everyone's asking, like, hey, we want this guy. So I think that's gonna play out good. My favor. We got a bunch of good scraps coming up on the same card at UFC 250. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm excited to watch the fights after me. They're the top guys in my division.
Yeah, there's a lot of good bantamweight fights. Whether it's Cody
Aljamain
Garbrandt, Aljamain Sterling, Corey Sandhagen. It's loaded there, man. So I was going to ask you, though, what is your trajectory? If you get the result you're looking for Saturday night, are you looking to fight a top 15 opponent? What's kind of your pace and how you attack this thing? Because obviously a lot of people gravitate towards you. You are a superstar in the making in the UFC, and that's clear as night as day. So what is your trajectory for getting to the top?
Yeah, I'm trying to take it slow, but then when I have the kind of practices I have and the performances I have, I'm like, I don't need to. I can go fight these top dudes. But I'm trying to be smart as a business guy too. Like, okay, let's take this next fight. Maybe take an easier fight like Chito instead of fighting someone in the top 10. But I feel like I could beat any of these guys on any night. So it's hard to take it slow when the fighter in me is like, let's try to get the belt as fast as possible. But it's gonna happen. I'm 25. And I'm still getting better, like a lot better each a couple months, I see myself improve a lot. So
That's the thing. Like a year and a half ago, we both sat down. We're like, hey, let's take our time. You're still so young. Your body's not really developed. Let's take our time. Let's get a bunch of fights. Start racking up the money, racking up the knockouts and the highlights. But just been such a big growth with him physically in the past year and a half, working with Brandon Harris, and then, like I said, working with Taquino, who's the 66 kilogram 80cc champion, the number one nogi guy in the world. We get to grapple with and have access to anytime we want. So it's like, okay, now it's like we got to sit down and rethink about it. You can hang with the top 10, top 5 guys right now. So now we got to make the smart decisions, take the right fights, and just keep adding highlights.
Do you think Chito won his last fight?
I thought he did. Yeah. That's why. If he would have lost, I wouldn't maybe. I don't know. I'm not gonna call him out yet. It's. I mean, I guess that kind of was, but we'll see. I thought he won that last fight, and then that Yadong Song fought Cody Stamen, and I thought Cody won that fight too. So that dude's getting some serious good luck.
I was gonna just say that. It seems like Song Yadong has gotten a lot of good breaks in his favor. I think that was a draw over in DC against Cody Stamen. Yeah. A lot of people have him, 0-2 in his last 2 fights, rather than his results being 1-0-1.
Yeah.
That's crazy luck, right?
It is.
The judging, man, it just goes to show you that if you don't put someone away on any given night, any different state, any different athletic commission, every different set of referee, man, it's insane.
It really is.
And it changes your entire payday too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I've had a lot of talks about that. It's crazy to me that they don't have UFC veterans paying them good money to go judge these fights. But it's hard to say. That Song Yadong, where does he train at?
He trains at Team Alpha Male under Uriah Faber.
Oh, he does. So he's got some good partners. 22 years old, right?
He's young. I think he's 22 years old. It's interesting. But I wanted to get back to the Henry Cejudo retirement thing, and because now the belt is vacant in the Bantamweight division. And I've said this before, and it drives me kind of insane. I want to get your thoughts. Why do you think the UFC, Dana White, and the brass at the top are so reluctant to do a tournament style, especially when there's so many different good guys at the top? Like, do you think it's fair that the title shot's going to be to Jose Aldo and Peter Yan and not Aljamain Sterling and a Marlon Moraes and some of the other guys at top? Like, how do you decide who's the title fight? Why not just have a tournament for the guys at the top? Why do you think the UFC is so reluctant for that?
Yeah, I don't know why they don't have Aljamain and Corey fighting on that next card for the main event, because I know they have like Cynthia and some other girl fighting for a main event, right? Is that for real, or is that a...
So there's Cynthia Calvia and Jessica I.
Yeah.
Is that a main event or I know it's either the main or the co-main.
Yeah.
That's the
like
main
why
event. Yeah.
why not have Corey and Aljamain main event that for the belt?
Well, I mean, I just think...
I guess that'd be a pay-per-view, but still.
I think just like scheduling conflicts, it's like, with obviously the situation we're in right now with the lockdowns and opening, the UFC just had their first card here back in Vegas. You're going to be the second card back here in Vegas. I think they just want to get these fights in, catch up to the schedule, and kind of go from there, book people.
But yeah, Jose getting the title shot. I think he's ranked number 6, and he's 0-1 in the division. That's why I've done a couple other interviews, and they were asking me about the rankings, and I'm like, the rank they don't matter. Dominic Cruz fought for the belt after losing. Jose Aldo's ranked number 6. He hasn't won in the division, so that's what I'm saying. I can win a couple more fights. Doesn't really matter what I'm ranked if the people want to see me fight for the belt and my performances are high level. Like if I'm as good as I say I am, then I'll be fighting for that belt. So.
It's interesting. You'd be interested to sit in on their Tuesday matchmaking meetings where they're like, hey, how about we have Jose Aldo fight Peter Yan? It's weird. I wonder who all sits in on those meetings and where it all comes from.
But why not have a tournament?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, too.
Question.
Be a lot more fun for everybody involved.
Yeah, who knows what's all behind the scenes.
Well, I guess, Cody and Asuncao, what's Asuncao ranked? Isn't he at 3 or something?
He's ranked
2 or 3?
5.
5?
He's ranked 5, yeah.
Okay.
And Cody's still top 10, right?
Yeah, he's at 9.
So they're kind of having a little tournament almost for those guys, right? To see, well, whoever wins, Aljamain or Corey will probably fight for Peter or Jose.
Right, for the winner there. But Marlon Moraes is still, I think, the number 1 contender going back on those crazy rankings. Like,
oh, yeah, Marlon versus Peter would be a sweet fight.
Yep. And that was supposed to be the original fight. I think it was overseas, but then obviously with Corona.
Well, who's Frankie Edgar fighting now?
See, Frankie Edgar, I think, was supposed to be fighting Aljamain Sterling. That was the initial talk, and then it got moved for Corey Sandhagen to fight Aljamain. So that leaves Frankie Edgar open for a fight the last time I checked.
Pedro Munoz.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's
Pedro?
targeted.
That'd be
yeah.
a sweet fight. Pedro Munoz, too, is another quiet name that's fucking really good.
It's a loaded division,
It
man.
is.
I know,
really
it's
is.
fun.
It is.
You have
Seems
your hands full.
The
exciting.
past 2 years, it's kind of blown up.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
True.
because for a while there, it was TJ, Dominic.
Oh, yeah.
and
TJ
maybe-
coming back,
maybe
next
Uriah.
year? Early
TJ
next
coming
year?
back. So you have both the 125 and the 135-pound division completely vacant, no champion.
Yeah.
How long is the 125 going to last? Really, how long is it? You look at the top 15 guys, and it's like, holy smokes, how long is it going to last?
They had cut so many people from the roster. I am surprised over the past year that it's still kind of in business, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely didn't help that
The draw, or
yeah.
The missed weight. That's fucking.
For sure.
But that's happening too soon, isn't it?
The rematch.
Yeah.
That's what they're scheduled. That should be interesting as well. But man, it's definitely a tough time in our world right now. It's definitely uneasy, and the UFC is like the only sport back.
Yeah.
All eyes on you. All eyes back on the Suga Show 2.0. Man, this is where you make the statements. You're used to not having crowds. Doesn't matter where you fight, and you got to send a message, any kind of positive message to the people out there, right?
Yeah. If I just show up and do what I do, I think it'll be,
Just watching the fight Saturday and the way that card played out, I was like, man, this kid thrives in those kind of situations to where it's just the lights are on him. It's just an athletic sport right here, and he's just going to make the guy look stupid. We'll see, but I'm super pumped. Those kind of scenarios he really shines in.
Yeah, I remember watching you a few years ago on the Contender Series and just how much noise you made.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool to see like everything, how it's progressed. And yeah, you are, that next star, the next superstar. And even right when the Bantamweight title, when Henry retired, I just kept seeing people saying like, oh, Sugar Sean,
it's fucking
like
funny.
they're all tweeting
And
at
people
you.
were throwing your name in the mix too in this tournament.
And I haven't even
who's
fought
who's a
anyone
contender?
really. Like that's what's so that's what's so cool about this sport too. It's like it'd be different if I didn't have the skills that I do. If I was just kind of like not as skilled as I am, but still a big name and people want to see me. But it's different that I do have that championship
Like a
skill
Sage
level.
Northcutt.
Yeah, like he never was that championship skill level, but he was just shredded and people wanted to see him. But I have that real championship mindset. I have that championship skill set. So that's what makes me so dangerous is they want to see me and I have the ability to be champ.
It's so funny looking at all you guys wearing the Schmo glasses and then not talking like that. It's refreshing. It's definitely refreshing.
I bet it is different.
And going back to something you told me early on when we first did a Schmo in the Pro interview, you talked about a trajectory for your career similar to Israel Adesanya's, but obviously with the USADA stuff and derailing kind of the plans. But being your age and having the fan base that you do, that is still there. That's still up for grabs. That's still in the works, and that's what you're gunning for.
Yeah, I think it could play out super similar to that, and he's still champ. He's still defending it. So I think it's we're on a good path. But also I know that anything can happen in fights. I'm not looking past Eddie. I just truly believe my skill level is if I show up my best, he can't beat me. So I don't want to look past him. I'm super confident going into this fight, but I still just got to let's get there, get the fight over with, and then, figure out what's next.
That's the thing about Sugar too is being with him for what? I think this is my 13th or 14th fight with him, and every single time we get to that locker room and it gets under the lights, he shows up. He shows up. His best Sugar shows up on that night. And now with his nutrition all in line, his rest all in line, all these things in line perfectly, he's going to show up Saturday night too.
What do you make of the Mike Perry situation, having his girlfriend in his corner and not believing any head coaches and stuff like that?
Is it the same girlfriend or the
different one?
New one.
It's
But is he still married?
Well, he's still married to the Platinum Princess, but he has this girlfriend. But I think the Platinum Princess has been in his corner for a lot of fights, and now he's going to have his girlfriend in corners for fights. But not going on to the personal life stuff, but talking about the lack of head coaches in his corner, not believing in that. How does that make you feel?
It's so important to have that coach and people you trust in your corner in camp. It's huge. Like
someone like Mike Perry, though, it might be pointless. He's such that pit bull mentality. He's gonna come out there, get in your face, throw the same hooks he's thrown probably forever. If you have a coach trying to change him and trying to change habits, it might take away from Mike Perry and might be a bad thing. So,
well, he looked
his
improved
style
again when
That's
he
a
was.
good point.
He did look improved though at Jackson's.
But what about the grappling, though? Because remember how quickly he went down in the Cowboy Cerrone fight? You know, he tapped out quickly. And look at Sean's career. Look at him training his jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. You know, people look at him as a stand-up fighter, but he's willing to go to the ground and switch things up. He's evolving. What about the lack of evolving if you have that same pitbull style and you're not, going to listen to a coach to improve in other aspects of your game?
Where does he live?
I think he's in South Florida.
Yeah.
There's
Great camps in South Florida.
Yeah.
Who knows? He might be going through something. Just might be. I don't know. Hopefully.
Well, you never know how hard he is to work with, too. Some coaches be like, man, I don't even really want to work with this kid. He's too all over the place.
But it's interesting because I think where he was coming from, which makes sense, is what these coaches aren't in there fighting with me. Some of these coaches haven't ever fought, but that's certainly not the case for all coaches, and it's certainly not the case for you. I mean, you've gone in the cage, you've done the work. There are so many high-level coaches, even in South Florida, that have gone in the cage, that have fought in the UFC, that have fought in major promotions, that they're right there in the corner too. So it's like, depends on who you're picking to be your coach.
Yeah.
And I think you got to develop that level of trust, man. When you're in a fist fight with someone walking out and you have one guy with you to call the shots in a fist fight in a very important moment in your life, you got to have a lot of trust. And if it's some coach who doesn't, I've worked with this kid, I've known this kid for 3 months. It's like, it's hard to, okay, I listen to him. He knows me. He knows what I'm thinking in certain spots. He knows my emotions in the fight. He really knows me. And it's hard to develop that in a couple months.
Yeah, I mean, when you get punched in the face, or if you're going back on the stool between rounds 1 and 2 or 2 and 3, and things aren't going your way, there's got to be, I imagine, some level of trust you have to look at your guys in your corner in the eye and be like, look, this isn't working. We have to do this. Or, Sean, you're not doing this. We have to adjust to that way. I mean, that's got to be a unique dynamic that, you can only get on the mats. You can only get inside the dog days of training.
Yeah, I think that's where I, have an advantage over a lot of people too, is we've had a lot of fights and a lot of sparring rounds, and also we're hanging out outside of fighting too, so we click on a way that I feel like it's superior to most.
That's interesting. So it's it's a livelihood that's not just inside of the gym. It's a lifestyle that you guys and a culture you create outside of the gym as well.
Like a brotherhood.
Yeah,
for sure too. And I've been striking quite a long time in my life too, and I've sparred a lot of high-level world champions and good guys, and sparring him and being in front of him, I kind of can tell, like, holy shit, these guys won't even see that fucking coming. It's so quick, I can't even see that coming, and then it just smacks me in the face. So it's pretty nice to be able to see it from that point of view when you're actually sparring or actually rolling and feeling his strength and feeling his cardio when he's pushing hard in the 3rd, 4th round. It's
yeah. No one knows my striking skill set as much as Tim. He's stood in front of me and he knows kind of my setups. He's watched me spar a ton. He's watched me fight. Like, he knows my skill set. So if he sees something that I don't maybe see and he calls it out, I throw it. I trust it. It's there. I might not do it right away. I might wait a little bit. I could go back on, a bunch of fights, and if you listen into the corner, you can hear Tim say something, and you'll see me do it either right away or a little bit later, and that's a dangerous combination.
But kind of circling back to something David mentioned earlier about, obviously right now can't have any fans in attendance. I know you fought both, like Contender Series style with not many people in the arena and then in front of like thousands of fans. What's your thoughts on, just a more intimate setting?
Yeah. If I could choose, I like the crowd. It's so, that's why, the fans are there. It's electrifying. But as far as will it affect my performance, I don't think so at all. I think, it doesn't matter what's going on outside the cage because I'm so in the cage. I'm not. I don't think it'll affect me at all. But we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, and then one thing too that I think about when I see that these completely empty arenas and empty environments, it's that, does it add pressure? Like, does it add pressure because you know that because we're in the situation that we're in right now, that you have an extra set of eyes, that they look at you, they might see that, okay, he's willing to fight, he's able to train, because there's some fighters that don't have the capabilities, depending on where they are in the region of the country, to get it proper training camps. So you might be expected or have some added pressure to fight sooner than your normal schedule. I mean, does that weigh in your mind at all?
If I'm healthy, I'm ready. If you look at mine, I've had over 30 fights since I was 16 years old. There was a time I fought three times, and it was 3 times in 33 days in 3 different states. I fought in Phoenix, I fought in Montana, I fought in Washington, back to back to back. And that's where the business side of me too wants. I have to be smart, but I really enjoy this, and I only get a fight for so long. Once I'm older, I'm gonna wish maybe I fought more. So I want to make sure. If I get out of this fight healthy, there's no reason I'm not fighting in a couple months. I'm in such good shape, and to get out of shape, it wouldn't be worth it. I'd rather just get right back in there.
Would you go to Fight Island?
Yeah.
I would go to Fight Island if I can stay in Vegas and keep fighting in Vegas. This is my 5th fight in a row in Vegas, and I love it. It's a 4-hour drive. We have our vehicle. The PI's here. We'll see how much we get to use it this week, but. I would go to Fight Island just because that's gonna be legendary.
Where do you think it's at?
I have no idea. I couldn't even guess.
I saw
someone
fucking
island
post. It looked almost around Ireland, but it could have been a completely
Probably
fake
Epstein's
post.
island.
I'm
That's what I was
pretty sure it
saying.
was.
Yeah,
I've been saying the whole thing. You guys catch that Epstein documentary?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
We're 2 episodes in.
Yeah.
We gotta
Same.
watch.
I think we're 3 in.
It's good, isn't it?
He's a character.
crazy.
It's fucking weird. It's weird if you can put your emotions outside of it. Kind of like watch it like he's a character. I'm like, holy shit, he's just a rich dude that
A real villain.
that
a
likes
real life
fucking.
one.
I was like, if all those girls were 18 and he wasn't raping them, like if all those girls were willing, it would be fine. But they had to be so young and not consenting. It's like that's what really fucked him.
Well, I think they were consenting, weren't they? But they were so young.
Yeah,
that he was
and they
talking them
got
into it.
recruited by women.
Yeah, older women.
The extra
Yeah.
200.
Fuck,
like a
crazy.
Ponzi scheme, a big circuit. But
Dude.
for my takeaway then again, we've only seen half. I guess we're on the same page.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
only seen half of it too.
He's
It's like,
seen it all.
and then putting into context of where we are in this kind of disaster of a country right now, given the circumstances. But there are different levels to richness. There's different levels to power. Deep state stuff.
Yeah.
Like there is really things going on behind the scenes, like strings being pulled, that the everyday person, us, we're just pawns in this game of chess.
How long has that kind of stuff been going on too? Because we find out because of YouTube or Twitter or this got leaked. Before the internet, it probably was still going on all throughout history.
Isn't that crazy?
Some
though?
of the quotes Trump has hanging out with Epstein saying he just likes younger. He just likes women. He likes them younger like I do. Like those quotes. And it's like, he's our president. It's fucking crazy.
It's absolutely crazy. But that's the power of social media, man.
Mm-hmm.
It can take so much stuff. It can reveal all this stuff and leak all this information that didn't exist before. But what's also crazy about social media is it can't regulate the bots, the fake stuff that people can put out there. Like, I mean, hey, anybody can create an account. Anybody could start trends. You can hack into the system with bots and do whatever you want and kind of dictate things and have a voice and create something and steer people in a certain way. And there's no way to regulate this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Even the thing about Epstein too is being able to talk his way into being a billionaire.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Amazing.
I was like, what does he do?
Yeah, it's like, okay, what's this guy's
a
job? How did he make all this
genius.
money?
Yeah.
He just talks his way through everything.
Yeah, wasn't that like kind of the end of the second episode? The
Lex, that
yeah,
guy.
Yep, the CEO saying, "Look, I regret giving this guy opportunity," and it was the guy with Victoria's Secret, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And how powerful, especially if Epstein was inviting those higher ups to his house and he had a camera in every single room, how much powerful that blackmail would be with all those higher ups. And imagine how many higher ups were just so pumped that he died, like a big relief off their
Did
shoulders.
he die?
Well,
Yeah,
it's either one or two things. I think it's either he clearly is dead and why would he be dead? Why they want him killed? Because he had new information to incriminate a lot of people at the top.
Don't you think if Epstein was like, if I die, leak this? Has someone that's like, if I died, put this
Yeah,
out.
what
That's a good
happened to
point.
that girl?
The blonde.
No,
There's
the
like 8,000 girls.
Well,
the short hair girl who was with him. Remember what
The
was
one-
her
Oh,
name?
yeah,
they
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah.
found her, so she's like gone.
They
missing.
haven't found her.
They haven't found her. I don't want to leak the whole show
Oh,
to you, but
got it.
because it gets good.
So then otherwise he does have the power to kind of fake a death.
Yeah,
And he
for
could be
sure.
living
In his
anywhere in the
island?
world.
With Tupac.
He could have been on the SpaceX shuttle. He could be on the
Yeah.
next space
And-
mission.
I'll give you this last
Don't-
piece of the show.
don't.
But 3 days before he died, he signed over all his stuff to his brother, and it was like 577 million in all these different estates. 3 days before he died. It's pretty crazy. Sorry,
timing.
last thing I'll give you.
No, that's insane. But that
Yeah.
just shows you, like, in this world we live in, there is way too many strings being pulled that we can't control.
Especially with Netflix documentaries.
It's like a
They
simulation.
can completely sway us, and it's like, man, we look at that from one perspective, and we hear it, and we're like, wow, that's crazy, but that's one perspective.
Yeah.
And it's crazy too. You brought up Netflix. We've all been kind of locked down for months, and it's amazing just to see the trends just from the beginning of the lockdown to where we are now.
The Tiger
King came and went pretty fast, huh?
Yeah,
was
that was
sweet.
too good.
Yeah,
He's fucking, that dude's a legend.
Joe Exotic.
And then did you guys catch The Last Dance, the Jordan documentary?
I'm waiting for it to come on Netflix.
Okay, yeah, because that's on the
Oh,
ESPN
it's
stuff.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I heard that was good.
It's
We
great.
could watch that at the hotel. I got ESPN on that Roku.
Okay, that'd be sweet.
It's
yeah,
worth
have
it.
time.
Is it
Yeah,
good?
I
it's
feel like
great.
that shit's gonna get me fired up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
100% get you fired up.
Fuck
I
yeah.
think. I mean, I grew up in the Chicago area in the '90s, and Jordan was always my sports hero. But not only do you take away from me, he's the GOAT, but the competitiveness, and I think you'll like that too. His mentality is not just to win, but to stomp on your throat
Dominate.
and dominate at all
Break you.
costs. Like his mindset was this, and I think you'll like this too. It's like, I'm going to go all out. You know, some basketball players nowadays, they take games off, they sit, they have rest, do not plays. He would play 82 game seasons. He would play no matter what, unless he was physically too injured to go. That's why they had the flu game and all that kind of stuff. He'll always go out at all costs. But his mindset was this: I don't want to deprive a fan who's going to pay $100, $200, whatever the cost of a ticket is, to not see me play and play my ass off, to completely ball out and play his heart out, so he can accrue a new fan or a new element to his legacy every single time he steps on the basketball court.
Fuck yeah.
It's a great mindset to have.
Yeah, it is.
It's a killer
That's
mindset.
sweet. I'm pumped to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give too much away.
I won't. Let's circle back to MMA stuff, because there's never shortage to stuff to talk about. What do you make of the whole Jon Jones situation, the money situation, especially with the UFC? I guess he's now vacating his belt, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he tweeted. He's done. There's no light heavyweight champion now in the UFC.
I don't know. I haven't really seen too much, just a little bit here and there, but yeah, I don't fucking know.
The number he's asking for, like he said, if it's half the amount of Deontay Wilder, there's a way to do the math. There's got to be a way to do the math as his manager, as the UFC PR or whoever. How many pay-per-views did he sell? How much percentage did he get? But man, the best fighter of all time, maybe ever, probably ever.
To go, yeah.
If you look at his record, and he's dipping, I think he's going to come back in 2 months, and a big fight's going to be announced, and we'll be like, he's back. And
You think
this
it's
is
just like
building it up.
leverage?
I think so, for sure.
Negotiation.
For sure.
Who's he gonna fight? France?
Yeah, Francis or another hard-hitting heavyweight.
Because he's going to let the light heavyweights. He said let Jan Blachowicz fight Dominic Reyes. And
And would you guys be that pumped, like Conor and Habib level pumped, if Jon Jones was rematching Dominic Reyes or Jan Blachowicz? You just wouldn't, would you?
it's just, that's the thing too. And it's such a tight situation too, because I think Dana's already said they're losing $100 million from now to the remainder of the year by not having a live gate.
Yeah.
Not having a live gate totally hinders ability to make money in certain extents. But let me ask you this though too, because like I think he's making a little bit north of $5 million, or he made a little north of $5 million in his last fight. But when they reveal the amount of money that they're guaranteed, like you obviously get money for show, and then you get money for winning, and you just have a plate. Like every time the MMA websites reveal the salaries, it's always anywhere from let's say the low end fighters from 10K to, let's say a Henry Cejudo that about 500K. But it's obviously a lot more than that for pay-per-view and for winning, right?
But you only get the pay-per-view if you're champ. And I think contender. No one else on the card.
No one else gets. So those salaries that those websites reveal, that's what you're getting. You're not getting any extra promo money. Yeah. Obviously, you get your Reebok money. Not that it's
they negotiate discretionary bonuses in there that no one ever sees.
Rarely with the UFC though.
Yeah, and with those UFC champions, that's you're seeing the bottom line number. They'll say Jon Jones is making him, I think, million, or was it Conor who only made the million, making 500,000, but then their discretionary bonus, who no one really knows about. Yeah, goes over you. So he's not making
but it's not even close to boxing.
But do you guys feel like you're compensated fairly? I mean, boxing's a completely different structure. Yeah. That's the complete wild, wild west. I mean, you got fighters fighting lesser fighters.
Yeah.
And so many different mouths with so many different promotions. Mm-hmm. The UFC took a lot of different investors early on, and obviously they built this thing. They are the cream of the crop. They are into the sport of American football. They're the NFL, and then you could say the other promotions out there. You got the XFL, the CFLs. Talk about it. That the UFC is the cream of the crop. Do you think that the structure is fair, or do you think there's going to be some change needed? Unionize this thing? What do you think?
Yeah, it's fucking hard to say. 'Cause some people I don't know if they should pay you off people that want to watch you fight, or if they should pay you off you're a professional fighter under our organization. I don't know.
I definitely think they shouldn't have a show or win, especially with the way those fucking judges are, and praying you fight in one state, praying you fight in another state, just because of the judges, and then you get literally half your money.
Yeah,
you get to go home half your money. So it's hard to plan a year ahead, maybe 2 years ahead, because you don't know what's going to happen on that night. I think they should have a flat out pay. This is what we're paying you on that night, because it's not that extra money, and maybe for some people, but that extra money isn't going to make people fight harder. I don't feel like. So I'm going to fight harder for my win bonus. You're still a UFC fighter in a fist fight, and if you win, your money goes up. So you're going to try to win regardless of the show and win. Do you agree?
Yeah, totally.
But do you think that Henry retired because it was kind of a negotiation tactic?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm just waiting to see how it plays out. I don't really know.
Well, I watched an interview with him, and I think he was talking to...
He got his first girlfriend, and he fucking fell in love.
I think he was talking to Logan Paul, and his ego and his boost is so huge, and I don't think he's the type of guy like a Ben Askren that could live with getting knocked out like Ben Askren and have the mindset Ben Askren does. Hey, like, this happens, because now, every time Ben Askren tweets, there's a gif of it, Sure. But Ben Askren's the type of guy that's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Henry, that would fucking burn him every single night. That would burn that little dude.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I do want to go back to the last thing I want to say on the shorts and the compensation. Someone like Sugar over here, like, I feel like the Reebok, they have the kits right now, which by the way is expiring at the end of the year, and I don't know if it's going to be Nike. I've heard Nike had meetings with Dana. I thought it'd be Under Armour, but it's looking like it'll be one of those two. But I feel like for the popularity that you have, man, you can make a lot of money having one or two or a few different sponsors on your shorts, far greater than what a Reebok or even a Nike could give you. Like, what's your take on that side of the thing?
Yeah, that definitely sucks. Obviously, when I got in the UFC, it was Reebok too, was already there, and I wasn't making a lot of money from sponsors on my shorts because I was fighting in LFA, smaller shows. So I didn't get but I heard, like, this dude's making that much from that sponsor to put him on his shorts and his banner. Are you serious? It's like how much you make just to show up to fight. So yeah, definitely they're screwing us out of that.
Yeah, and if back in the day, like being with Varner or guys like some of the past fighters that I've worked with, they've gotten good money from those sponsors. And someone like Sugar, with his persona and with his reach on everything, he could get big money from 2 logos on his shorts, probably close to 6 figures from just those sponsorships. And with Reebok getting 10, 15 grand, but like I said, he's never been around it to where 4.
My next fight, I'll make 4,000 from Reebok.
What?
Yeah. First 3, 1,500, and then
that's super fucked
whatever,
up.
3,500. No, something like that.
There's been even local shows that you can make close to that kind of money.
He's got to be so bad. I know he hates fight predictions, but this is too good stuff. I mean, if people are going to bet on him, Sugar Sean O'Malley, what do you think?
Dude,
what
like
he
I
does.
said,
Gets the job done.
fighting is so fucking scary and fucked up. I've been to a lot of fights. I've been with fighters. I've been in fights where I've showed up and it's supposed to be an easy night. And everything went good. The cut went good. Everything went good. And it ends up being the worst night of your fucking life. So it's hard to say 100%, but I'm about to say 98% he's going to KO Eddie Wineland. Eddie's a firefighter. I was kind of peeking around his Instagram. He's just lifting weights and he's a tough fighter. He probably had a panic camp. We heard about this fight, I think, 20 days. So he probably got motivated. Oh, I got to fight Sugar. I got to try to stop the hype train. Probably started working his butt off, beating his body down. And we've been training the whole time with good partners, eating good. This was like a normal fight camp for us. So Sean's going to be super fucking durable and super healthy Saturday night. It's weird going into the last couple weeks of sparring. His limbs are all healthy. With El Taco, he couldn't kick with his left foot. We didn't have his left body kick. Something was wrong with his right foot. Always sore and beat up somewhere. And this fight, he's like, fuck, dude, I'm completely fucking healthy and felt good. And last Saturday, we did our shadow rounds for sparring, and it was fucking scary. And I'm a welterweight. I'm used to standing in front of welterweights and bigger guys. And he looks like a skinny little dude, but he cracks fucking hard, dude.
Go to mybookie.ag, promo code Schmozone. They will match up to 50% of what you put in. So let's say you put in $500. They'll give you an extra $250. They'll do it up to $1,000. That's Tim Welch. She's predicting a KO. Hey, look, some other fights too.
Yeah, Rafael Assunção, Cody Garbrandt.
And Cody needs the W. He's hungry.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to put himself back in there to be in the mix to get that belt back if he wants it.
Where was Cody training for this fight?
Back at Team Alpha Male.
No, he's at New Jersey, right?
Oh, that's right. That is right.
Yeah, I think
he split. I think he did
split?
do both with Coach
Yeah.
Mark Henry up in New Jersey, and he
Yeah.
was over there at Alpha Male. Because I just saw pictures on his Instagram. That's why I said that.
Yeah.
With him with
Uriah.
Uriah, and this past week, at least doing some sparring.
We'll see with an emotional fighter like him. You can go and have a coach and have a game plan and have this new game plan. And but if you get your emotions take over in your fight, you're gonna go back to your old self. So I'm gonna pick Assunção by decision.
Did you watch the countdown?
No.
I haven't yet.
Yeah, he. I feel like it's gonna be hard. I'm surprised they gave him that fight. Like that's a tough fight for him to
Tough
come
fight.
back.
But hey, I mean, he wants to contend there, stay in that top 10 spot.
I guess they're all tough fights at that rank up there, but
Assunção's got to be up there top two
that
toughest
was
fights.
good.
It's there. Hey, and then the title fight, UFC 250. You know, all the pay-per-views, always a belt on the line. You got Felicia Spencer against Amanda Nunes, and I just don't see how anybody at this point in time is going to get through Amanda Nunes.
I've never seen the other girl fight.
Why? Her
She
last
fought
two fights.
Cyborg, and the last fight she submitted Zara.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think the level of competition in that 145-pound female division, featherweight, there's no one at her level right now. And you can make the argument for 135 too. She's starching girls.
Yeah.
Just like how Jon Jones is doing. And still, I mean, you know, obviously his last couple of fights have been pretty close, but Jon Jones in Jon Jones' heyday was just going through people. And I think Amanda's so well-rounded with her grappling, her wrestling, and her striking. Who's going to beat her right now?
Yeah.
And Amanda Nunes, she got gifted. She hits like a man. Yeah. She hits like a fucking man. She hits girls and they fall, and she has that confidence in her that when she cracks people, they fall. And I think Felicia Spencer is going to come out and just get mopped up.
Well, I saw what Cyborg did to Felicia Spencer. I mean, not to do the MMA math, but then I saw what Amanda did to Cyborg. And I think right now at this point, who hits harder, Cyborg or Amanda? That's take your pick.
Oh, and sorry, want to correct. She submitted Megan Anderson,
That's
but
right.
she stopped Zara.
And what was her name again?
Felicia Spencer.
Oh yeah, Felicia Spencer.
Felicia Spencer.
And that's the one thing she's got on her side. You know, Amanda's a champion. She's got this confidence. So how hard did Amanda train for it? Did she get in the most minimum amount of training? And Felicia Spencer had a great camp where she can get her timing, wear Amanda Nunes out and upset her? That's the question.
And when she fought GDR, a lot of people were surprised that went the distance.
Yeah, that was surprised.
But that could motivate her even further.
Right.
And she's in South Florida. I think she's with Top Team, Amanda.
Yeah.
You know, she's got Dana White anointing her as the GOAT. I said GOAT for woman. I know Clarissa Shields likes that title from boxing.
Whoa, that's good.
Whoa,
Who did you pick for Corey and Aljo? Did you guys do that one?
We didn't.
Not
We
yet.
did not
Okay.
pick that one yet, but that's going to be fascinating because I just
Yeah.
think the kids usually have a lot of range and length and height of your opponents, and Corey is another lengthy
Yeah.
guy in the bantamweight division. Man, I could see you two guys crossing paths at one point, and that just because of the styles, man, that's fireworks with you two. But Aljo with the wrestling and the grappling, if it gets close, but I think Corey with the awkwardness and the length, that could have posed some problems. So I wonder get how you see that.
Yeah, I think the shorter cage is, for guys like us that like to move around, it is a disadvantage a little bit. For me, I feel like it's not as much though because my counters are powerful. I put people to sleep with my counters. And someone that's gonna try to push me up against the cage, like Jose did, it obviously didn't work. But yeah, I'm curious how that fight plays out. If Aljo's gonna be able to hold him down, because Corey's got good jiu-jitsu too. It looks like he knows what he's doing there. So yeah, that fight and Aljo's striking looking better. Every fight too. He's improving a lot.
I wish it was a 5-rounder.
Yeah, fuck.
But I think just from my point of view, I think Sugar and Sandhagen are the two scariest, best bantamweights right now, with their striking and their style and their age and the way you can tell Corey Sandhagen takes it seriously too. I'm gonna pick Corey Sandhagen by decision.
Yeah, I think that's what I got too. But fuck, it's hard. That's a toss up.
It's funny because yesterday the Schmo interviewed Aljamain Sterling, and I got a bet with him because of Manscaped. We're doing a Manscaped bet, manscaped.com. If Aljo loses the fight, we're gonna take an S and shave it in his junk down there.
That'd be
And
cool.
we're going to get photos of
You're
it.
going to do it?
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But it's going to get done. Helen's not going to do it. She's going to pick the person to do it.
Oh, okay.
And then,
I'm good.
but then
Yeah,
if he wins, I'm going to shave the stash.
Oh, nice.
Finally.
Yeah, that needs to go.
That's what
I
she
think
thinks.
it makes you look mature.
I think it does too.
It adds
with
a couple
of
of age.
wine
Yeah.
or something.
I think so.
I always thought it would
turtleneck.
Whiskey.
exactly. It adds some comedic
Turtleneck.
element
Yeah.
to the Schmo character.
Yeah, I like it.
I
Yeah.
thought
Looks good.
I thought so. So that's the little side bet I did with manscaped.com. Go there if you want. Get 20% off promo code Schmo. And there you go. What else for these fights?
Did you interview Aljo yesterday, you said?
Yesterday.
Here in Vegas?
Here in Vegas,
Oh,
they got
nice.
an Airbnb, him and his Long
cool.
Island training
Cool.
partners. So they came
cool.
out early. They hiked Red Rock.
Nice.
You guys have done that hike before, right?
I haven't actually. Literally
You
haven't.
should, yeah. But
Sweet.
go early morning. Otherwise, it's like way too hot.
Hell.
They live in Arizona.
Oh,
I think they already know what the oven feels
I went on a
like.
run yesterday at like midday. I just ran for 30 minutes and it was fucking hot. Like
You're
I was like
drenched.
dizzy. Like holy shit, that wasn't very smart.
Do you think for fighters who live in warmer climates, do you think it's a better advantage than living in a colder climate? Does it even make a difference whatsoever? I'm not throwing elevation in this argument whatsoever. I'm just talking about colder versus warmer climates.
Warm's nice. I feel like less injury probably.
Well, we lived in Montana and we had to
Ugh.
go to the gym when it's below zero.
Right.
You have to
Fuck
get into the
that.
gym and it's like, holy, your joints are tight. Everything's tight. It takes a while to warm up and heat your body up. In AZ, you show up and you're warmed up.
Yeah, heat's probably better.
Has
It's
there been-
hotter there, right?
Has there been
Yeah.
riots going on here?
I guess we can get in that too. I think they're going on everywhere, and there has been some riots at the Strip, but I think it's even more riots than it is just people looting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what started as protests for the murder of George Floyd has turned into other people taking advantage of the situation. And what I said earlier about social media and Twitter and bots and stuff like that, I don't know if it's coming within this country. It could be from outside of this country, other countries, other leaders that would love to see our country, our democracy completely fall. But yeah, I think it's stirring the pot, getting people to loot. I thought we would see looting and stuff like that from the lockdown, but this seems to be like the ignition switch, this murder, to just really climb on some issues that have really never been solved in this country.
Yeah. I think so too, but
There has been to answer your question.
what's gonna be the what are they gonna do to have the agreement? What does the president need to say to stop these looters?
What can this president say to stop the looters? I think this president, he's been so quiet and he hasn't really stepped up in the leadership position. It's funny because what happened a few years ago in the NFL with Colin Kaepernick taking a knee and Eric Reed and the other football players kind of following suit, like they were blacklisted from the NFL. Roger Goodell, they didn't stand up for, like literally they did stand up. They wouldn't take a knee with these guys. They wouldn't solve it. They were like, there's no place for this disrespecting the flag. And it was never about disrespecting the flag. It was about sending a message and getting their message heard. And now we're in a situation where they're saying, oh, protests, say your message, but do it peacefully. How much of a hypocrisy are we seeing from that now? It's like it's a different message just a year later. It's like where were you a few years ago? So, obviously all lives matter, but I think that what needs to be really heard in this message is that, in fact, Black lives do matter.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
crazy that something like that even has to be said.
Yeah, that's
it's
even
like what the fuck. I haven't followed any of that, so I don't know any about it. But it's fucking crazy that it even has to be brought up.
If we have just a National Mushroom Day.
Yeah,
and then that's the day everyone talks about it.
See, that's the thing is I hate politics and I love sports. Sports are everybody's escapism for that. So that's why, like, I'm so grateful for you guys coming in here on a fight week. And you guys are literally Eyes on You, America, ESPN, or an ESPN Plus, pay-per-view. That's what we have going on. That's Saturday night. That's prime time. That is sports. And people need sports to get away from their everyday problems. But you've locked people away. You've closed everything. You're setting curfews in there now. What do people have? And the unemployment is the highest it's been since the Great Depression. What do people have to look forward to?
Fuck.
We need positivity. We need unity. We're one country. In the end, we're all human beings. Obviously we're all in this room. We're all white. We haven't had the same type of experiences that these other people have. If a police officer pulls us off to the side of the road, we don't fear for our lives. We're like, okay, we're not going to get unfair treatment. We would think that we would get fair and rightful treatment.
Yeah.
Where's the empathy? Where is it the other side of the road? Well, where is the opportunity for other people that aren't born this way?
It's crazy to become a cop. It's just like, I just have to do a couple things. I don't have to do too much.
We were talking about that.
Yeah, and why aren't these cops getting jiu-jitsu training? Why don't they have any specific kind of combat sports, combative training? They should be getting some basic training because they don't know how to subdue somebody. You don't subdue somebody and put your neck, or you don't put your knee on their neck. Like, come on. Can't you just use some grappling? Learn some grappling. There's got to be some standards to put in place.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And just like you said, we're just sitting around here giving our perspective, but we don't understand what it's like to be a black person and deal with just random racism, maybe at the gas station, or randomly the way people treat you. So it's hard to say, but just
it's crazy too, because like I don't ever see it. Like,
yeah,
we don't ever
well,
see
if we
it. So
ever
I don't
saw
think
it, we'd stop it.
Well, yeah, it's just weird that it's a real thing. Like I never see it, and if I don't see it online, but it's like a big deal. It's like, what the fuck? How is that even? That doesn't make sense. How do people not like someone because I just don't get it.
It's ingrained. I think like all humans, like all children, are born as good people. You have to be taught the hatred, vitriol. You have to be taught that. It has to be ingrained in the culture. And it bothers me so much, but think about our country, man. It was founded, the economy, on slavery, through cotton, through tobacco, through all that stuff. And you say, oh, looting's not going to do anything. What did we do in the Boston Harbor and the Boston Tea Party? Us white people looted against the British for taxing us. No taxation without representation. So the hypocrisy on all levels needs to be shined. It needs to be pointed out. And we need to start having empathy and listening to people and having equality because it doesn't exist.
Fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when's it gonna? The more stuff comes out about Trump, the more stuff comes about Epstein and these different things and all this different stuff going on. Like I don't know what's gonna happen.
But dude, that's social media, man. Like there's no future president, there's no future leader or anything where you can't dig up tweets or dirt or Facebook to get photos or what someone says. There's no such thing as really a private life anymore. There really isn't, man. They're gonna know everything about you. So even if you tweet something, you try to delete it, someone's gonna find it. Someone's gonna dig it up. Screenshot.
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy, and everybody's got skeletons in their closet. Some worse than others, but like
everyone's freak shows.
Yeah, It's crazy, man. But like, all we can do is control what we can control, and just be good human beings, right? Positive people.
Yeah, for sure.
And that starts this weekend. Fight week.
Fight week.
Like trying to knock
nice.
someone out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's knock someone out, but like, let's be real though too. It's like, you guys hear a whistle, a bell, boom, it's over. You hear the
sport, yeah.
The
You're
sport. It's a sport. You
professionals.
shake hands at the end of the fight,
Yeah.
regardless you win or lose.
Mm-hmm.
The referee still puts his hands on your wrists, and one hand gets raised,
Yeah.
one hand goes down, and there's respect. In martial arts and MMA, I think respect comes first.
Yes.
Before anything else, right? You probably learned respect before you learned technical striking, before you learned a 1-2. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Any final, I can't be the schmo, final message, real, but do you guys have anything you want to push out there? Any thoughts leading into this fight week, man? Anything you want to say?
I'm fucking hungry.
Sugar's hungry, but thanks for having us on. Love talking to you
It was
guys.
fucking fun.
No, I love having
Every
you guys
time we
on.
come, we'll have
Yeah,
to come
thank
do one,
you.
bust one out.
I was
in Vegas.
thinking we just have this trend, especially
Yeah.
you keep coming in Vegas for fight week.
Next time you're in Arizona, you have to come on ours.
Yeah.
100%. Would if we come on yours, Schmo or myself or
Whatever.
I would like Dave.
Dave.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, let's have you. That'd be fun.
That'd be
Good times.
cool. Helen, you wrap this thing up. Anything you want to say?
No, everything you said at the end.
But you got a
was
nice
good.
shirt on.
Yeah, Fight Island.
Fight
Ready
Island.
for it?
Pushing that thing out. Yeah, we got our Fight Island shirts.
Are you guys going to get media passes for Fight Island?
If they exist, if they come out, we are going.
Hell
and we
yeah.
will do
Yeah.
it. I'm not sure what it'll look like. I'm sure we're going to have to live on this island for a month. But I'm telling you right now, though, from our perspective, covering these fights, we can't, this virtual media day stuff, from our perspective, it sucks. I can't be the schmo and do a Schmo in the Pro interview, like fighting for someone's digital time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
and
work.
you said normally you like media days.
Yeah, I enjoy
So
media days.
what do you think of just a virtual? Isn't it just 15 minutes?
I don't know. They sent me my schedule today. I didn't really look at the media stuff, but it's definitely not. I'm not like as excited as I usually am. Like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, media fight week's gonna be fun.
But I told Sugar, I said, dude, in 20 years we'll be talking about this and the empty
True.
arena and all this stuff
Yeah.
going
And the
on.
history
and we got to
books.
be a part of it and come compete on a day like that where they had to separate everyone. So it'll be a sweet memory.
Guys are pioneers,
Yep.
and we're just doing it. This is episode 18 of the Schmozone podcast. We're out.
Ow.